order will be politics, brain drain, counter plan, or excuse me, case in the order of bioterrorism, and then hegemony. And then politics, brain drain, counter plan, the CMR just said, and then
sorry, one more time?
politics. Yeah, you tell me.
Yeah, it's bioterror, healthcare,
Yeah.
politics,
Yep.
brain drain, the counter plan, CMR.
Okay, got it. Thank you. You get the jump drive?
I'm saving it as 2AC monkey.
Can you give us a chance to print it?
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks.
And then while you're printing it, can you give it back to him so I can see the speech?
Oh,
Okay, of course.
You good? Oh, right. My bad. I'm sorry.
Well, you also said you want to print it down.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can give it back to
Yeah,
me.
you can take it.
yeah. Here. Are you good? Should we just, can we go? Alright, yeah.
Right. Good.
Eastward evidence stop listeners from Steinberg evidence indicates terrorists will make new weapons or evidence indicates technology is rapidly diffusing in the sense of Russian scientists could easily make it. Ground evidence you got on this question. Independent government commission decided to do a study also considered the retail scenario. That's our commonly evidence. The impact is they say no deterrents are internal deterrents pretty good. It indicates terrorists won't bother if they think our public health and infrastructure is strong enough. The Occidentals obviously would like violent weapons to be gone completely, but the act radically reduces the use. The risk of usage could see Occidentals analysis that it outweighs nuclear warfare. I answer the Canada Press argument above. Russian scientists or in their backgrounds in Vienna. Also, their evidence proves the retail argument. Shortages are the second advantage. Group of the first arguments these impacts are stupid. They're assuming the current recession, our Cooper evidence indicates it would be a much bigger economic catastrophe. Me trust the distinction between a recession, which equivalent to status quo, and a depression, which would happen in a world of the debt crisis. Healthcare costs the only internal link to that which we solve. We won't have to service that if we don't owe money in the first place. Additionally, the Haas evidence is showing they don't think enough time taking evidence against U.S. military dominance provides a deterrent effect that reduces raises the cost of conflicts for everyone else. Political politics says that even supporters agree that it's difficult to predict outcome negotiations. No change of failure means are very linked to its unique seeking out 1017. Republicans are uncomfortable with the fact that the proposed incentives will be paid for the increase in tax settlement order. I think people like the success rather than no easy. Taxes won't pass taxes. Castile 10-7. Forgets will likely be difficult for the building of the necessary 60 votes incentive because the way which is proposed. Also, the cost of incentives reasonable raise the tax entities for all domestic and imported oil. Republican lawmakers projections is large. In reason nothing will pass the lame duck. Republicans will block and down to lose. No, but NPR 1019. Do you open leaders are optimistic about the chances thwarting any industry from the limited calendar and Democratic loss on the horizon with a new crop of Democrats based on the 2012 cycle will not be allowed momentum they plan for most Democrats, which is a hope. If there's no absence, would you want to come up for after you lost weapons or when you most ranks immediately we go out there, new members right away when you look at the political reality, maybe you're asking, but they won't have the votes to do so much of this it's not right in terms of the plan rational policymaker would do. Both bases by preference board system sisters have 5 Hutchinson and 2 would implement the nurse specific EV3 about road rules. The nursing fix seems to have broad preference board of components of the one reason they measure is permitted because it would likely include in the final version of the bill sent President Bush and hospital lobbies help the plan in making mistakes. The nurse proposals are back from the American Hospital Association. There's no way to cap the number of nurses coming in and hospital lobbies keep capital donations heavy lobbying cloud. Washington Post 9. Bureau Proposal Order Office Head of the Government American Hospital Association to the White House. The Hospital Association of the Millions toxic, lumping, and high confusion, they achieve some more exceptional ways, in this year, the organization ranks major journals, members, and members, being rated, one, to get candidates in the last election, primarily Democrats, doctors, recipients, includes under leaders, lobbying, glad is strong, unglue, abstain, and Schumer keeps the lead on legislation, Mr. Low, 9, the opposition working rap legislation, Schumer has love long to champion, numbers of five glad the charge from the special nursing 6 pieces, Schumer is back to the bill this fall, and he's keeping the agenda mass political loud Washington Post, and Schumer has developed a reputation for race or elbow political monster, is the most effective lawmaker generation in the center of issues including jobs, immigration, Supreme Court hearings. 2, Bruce Powers always president of voracious governments and many court to the media. I knew who makes the national media understands the legislating. 2, renaming the House Committees to Fox Single and in exchange for saying I'm not determined the SEC. 0, purposely for basically non-existent opposition leadership. No piece of internal evidence indicating that political capital is key to the bill. Their evidence says will pass easily and nobody cares about the plan in 56. As the U.S. Attorney General Mr. Senate political law will notice provision will all gay brown back response to the proposal. Senate provision has not serious opposition in Congress and no impact to you. 8, both of us know there's normally about sustainable economic growth and sharing their energy security growth. There's a great conflict policy that is going to collision war between the U.S. and China over energy is far from the level as long as Washington Beijing is cooperating and the global oil market mechanism real operates meaning the officially grain trade and migration is inevitably oriented at Lopez 9. Many countries' aging populations, diminishing years supply, experiencing shortages, Indian economy, with large supplies, many industrialized nations suffer from aging baby boom population requiring air to contend with advances in health technology by 2015. The demand for nutrition services in Canada will increase by more than half as the nations are. Increasing immigration and illegal shortages, Switzerland, nearly 1/3 of our students are educated outside the country. Number of foreigners in the United Kingdom doubled. In its use of nurse abuse has been less aggressive than nurse remittance off of women negative brain aspects and boost home country infrastructure also increase the number of domestic nurses came out 6. The micro-nurses can offset the negative consequences of brain remittance represent major positive source of hard currency in some countries. Remittances account for as much as 39% of GDP. This is better than large sums of money. Micro-nurses not amount of money sent home remittance far as for direct investment. Any attempt to produce international micro-nurses serious negative impact in the economic growth of developing countries that remittances more than offset the loss of tax rate in developing countries once they go with the Philippine position to the money sent home are they community considered the loss of economic loss associated with their budget more likely to send home and home resident for traditional remittances to be schools and limits companies are including creating investment possibilities specifically down for remittances for every public collaboration links with the diaspora are essentially also value transfer of ideas, information and technology market and technology visa recapture counter plan 1 is firm to both social linked to the net benefit 2 is firm to the counter plan. The counter plan explicitly includes the plan text is not functionally competitive. Firms do not have to be capital competition against the resolution is a terrible sin. This is a terrible sin for 3 no solvency arguments against over 1 million visas would be requested. The burden on them is to read a piece of evidence indicating there would be enough visas recaptured even over the past few years. There's only been several thousand visas allocated in the category they're talking about and links to politics. Their evidence indicates a simple increase of immigration is what triggers
Also,
it.
they only do a recapture once, which means that
Yes.
it's a long-term.
They only do a recapture once, which means they don't solve coming years in the future. It means nurses get to come in and get one shot, come in, which doesn't solve the app. Or evidence indicates there's structural disparities, which means they don't solve. Next is A. 0 impact to CMR, not one red and not one red and not one and C, which means I get to answer the rest. The whole that we get to answer the whole dissent in one A because it's not a complete argument. It's obviously no because of things like the crystal. Their evidence is Bush implements military quarantines. There's absolutely no piece of evidence that they will provide indicating that Obama would ever initiate a military quarantine. Additionally, there's only a risk of the plan link turns this because nurses would be used instead of military personnel. Obviously, also if we deter, they've conceded that we solve deterrence of a bioterrorist attack, which means quarantine will never be necessary in the first place. Okay. Framework, we get where further their interpretation makes a regain the app, when it states 17 borders, they only would break down security 192. Security is measured national power, nothing more, something has one, system providing social basic security states something exists only in the virtue of certain understanding that expectation is only a virtue of mutual recognition that states of territorial property rights is easy. You overlook this and presupposed by an ongoing artifact practice when states act their citizens protect their markets against foreign imports and fight a global war against a regime they thought to destroy sovereignty and then give Germany back to the Germans. They are reproducing shared norms about what it means to be a sovereign state. This identity institution remain dependent on what actors do. Removing those practices will remove their intersubjective conditions of existence. Do states and states successfully internalize sovereignty norms, they will be more respectful towards the territorial rights of others. But what it means to be sovereign states one who do not violate the territorial rights of others just cause other examples markedly different treatment the weak states receive within and outside communities mutual recognition. The absence of recognition helps explain the Western states' practice of territorial conquest, enslavement, and genocide against Native American African peoples as the battle when only power matters. States can afford to rely more on the institutional fabric of international society, less on military power sovereignty. You may redefine the meaning of others' power for security of itself, and most of the time the events played out when the terms of sovereignty game. The leads of Napoleon and Hitler show what happened when they're not termed to the plan, and it's an unconditional gesture of hospitality and floating picks or voting issue checks 100% of when it's the offense infinitely whereas if the K does more to increase immigration than the plan does, is obviously not competitive, not a reason not to do the plan. Default to Utah, we're in 87. The ethical responsibility to come on to get out from the diversity and attention results of what she said, the ultimately good thing goes by credit for generation whose responsibility is lacking. The ethical responsibility to accommodate the limits of the employment. What it concerns others who suffer from ongoing action when it's done with good intentions, but disaster results is morally defective. Additionally, the doesn't require that nurses work, which means they don't have an incentive to do things like go into nursing, which is the only way to solve the K, and that all ethics of the K is worse. Hanging forward, deconstruction cannot teach but lecture. Violence is a state of being does not exclude anyone, and completely present life would be a complete death where all violent changes precluded, nothing can ever happen. Absolute peace is inseparable. Absolute violence, alternative narrative work does not justify do a good meaning, do not look at ethical openness of the court, subject to the relation to the other, then not be ethical as such, but is not ethical open, we cannot be reappropriated by any ethics, and the all fails government seeks to reject the sovereignty immigration policies radical and unproductive pragmatic material change is key. Distia 6. The tendency for critics to reduce their conclusion moral review against their own policy, which were condemned as driven by their cynic opportunities of repression, racism, only left room for genuine debate. More, those suggestions do little impression on the government, the refugee rights, the question of hospitality, and the politics, the cultural difference have inspired many political policies to imagine an alternative form of governance. The links between the condition of display and the experience of the religious are also considered to be on another kind of ground. Mentions of a source of the extent of redemption from material policies to the external superhuman nature, the messianic evidence remains no effort to link this mystical fulfillment of common sense of humanity with material politics take form of heterogeneous clusters of actionism.
Did you want to ask a question about the K?
You didn't read, well, no. You read everything on the K. You didn't insert a card after the permutation, did you?
No, I might have made the permutation in a slightly different order, but all the cards are the same.
Okay.
Same cards for each
Yep,
speech.
so we're good.
With your Castile and your seeking alpha evidence indicate that Republicans are taking issue with the funding mechanism.
Our evidence indicates
Hold on, I
actually
haven't even asked a question yet. That they're taking issue with the funding mechanism. The ununderlined part of your card says Republican senators, however, are looking for palatable funding alternatives. So why can't they take issue with the mechanism but still support the substance of the bill, which is what our evidence speaks
Our
to?
second piece of evidence indicates, that's the Castile evidence, which indicates that this is what Reed's insisting on, which means that Reed and Republicans are
Okay,
the law.
I just want to talk about this Castile evidence. So the ununderlined part right before the part you start reading says, Senator Tom Coburn, a Republican from Muskogee, said it would be difficult to pass the bill with the current funding mechanism. So that's one Republican who then gave an opinion about the rest of the Congress.
I mean,
so even if he doesn't vote for it, does your evidence sort of speak or quote any objective sources?
The card doesn't say Coburn won't vote, Coburn doesn't like the bill. It says Coburn doesn't think it's likely to pass because
is he like a Republican leader? Like, does he command influence in the caucus?
I mean, he's probably more qualified to talk about Congress than your seeking alpha evidence.
It's the premier website on
stock
analysis opinion.
I'm sure
Your NYG and 6 evidence that hospitals love the plan. You also read a piece of evidence that says that they're key to capital. This evidence indicates that hospitals have given campaign contributions in the past.
So that means
hold on,
wait,
still haven't asked the question. So what is that? Does your evidence sort of speak to the future, like how those campaign contributions would then translate into voting for the natural gas tax credit?
Our Washington Post evidence from 2009, the logic of political capital applies in the same way in the context of the link term because there's a bunch of congressmen who've gotten a bunch of money from hospital lobbies who support hospital lobbies and like it when Obama does things that help.
Okay, what evidence do you have that says that this will have an impact, read me a line from this card that says, just point to me, where this evidence says that this would have a future effect on lawmaking.
What do you mean? You don't have a piece of
You
evidence.
have to
You don't have any piece of evidence that indicates the plan has a future effect on lawmaking either. We have a piece of evidence that indicates it's a very powerful lobby in Congress that's very connected and would support the plan.
Okay, but you can't point, or you can't just
I mean, this card
demonstrate to me
indicates
where it says that. Okay.
Yes, well, there's a couple of words in that card that are applicable.
It just says that they've contributed $2 million in the past.
Blue Dog Democrats support the plan. Hospitals are located in every district, which means they file everywhere. If they've contributed in the past, it seems like they contribute in the future.
Okay. Your Masillo evidence about Schumer taking the lead on the plan is evidence that in the past he supported nursing initiatives. And this evidence is from 2009. What evidence do you have that sort of, given the proximity to a midterm election, which is incredibly controversial to push increases in immigration, that he would champion the plan?
Schumer's in a very safe seat. I don't understand why Obama would be willing to jeopardize every Democrat by pushing the plan.
Well, that's also something your plan contemplates.
742.
Wait, I'm sorry. You're saying your plan happened before the election?
No.
Okay.
I would argue that it probably happened.
I'm just making sure. I thought you just said that. Okay, good. We're taking part.
740.
can say conditionality, right? And we're good. I might have to hand you some cards to give me the block, but I think that will probably be easier. They're not that easy, man. I think